A very worried Donald Trump has been canceling interviews this week because 1, he wants to avoid the grillings that make him look foolish, and 2, he wants to avoid the viral videos that result from him looking foolish. Well, because karma is attached to him like a long red tie made in China, he unexpectedly found himself not only grilled but scorched during an interview today at a forum in Chicago, and I have all the viral moments next, including the peak moment that resulted in a classic Trump fit. Because we're just 3 weeks away from Election Day, we may never see a campaigning Trump in a contentious interview of this magnitude again. The interviewer was John McElwaith, editor-in-chief of Bloomberg News, and the event was hosted by the Economics Club of Chicago, and the Kamala Harris X account was tracking the debacle in real time and kicks off the clip fest with a post that said Trump belittled auto workers by saying a child could do their jobs.
And they have a little bit, but you know what they really are? Assembly, like in South Carolina. But they build everything in Germany, and then they assemble it here. They get away with murder because they say, oh, yes, we're building cars. They don't build cars. They take them out of a box and they assemble them. We could have our child do it.
Can we come back?
Something tells me the Teamsters disagree with Trump's opinion on what it takes to assemble an automobile. In just a few seconds, I will have the Trump fit that I mentioned, but first, this next clip may be the funniest, and it is classic Trump. After the host shuts down some of his incoherent ramblings, Trump accuses him of moving too fast and gives him a free Trump University lesson on the art of the weave.
So I said, call Macron and call his people and say we're not going to stand for that. And I got Mnuchin and, a lot of guys, smart guys, if I can finish.
Yeah.
I'll go longer if you want.
I was going to ask you about the Federal Reserve.
You got to be able to finish a thought because it's very important. This is big stuff we're talking about. You can't go that quickly.
You've gone from the dollar to
So let
Macron.
me just tell you. So I said, no, I'm just telling you basic, it's called the weave. It's all these different things happening.
Yeah.
So let me just say.
Donald Trump is so detached from reality that he doesn't even realize that rebranding his ramblings as something called The Weave is like sending a gift-wrapped joke to the late-night comedians. And speaking of unfocused, watch as the next clip begins with a very big exhale, which may be the moment that the actual answer left his brain, and it ends with the host reminding him of what the question was.
Should Google be broken up?
I just haven't gotten over something the Justice Department did yesterday, where Virginia cleaned up its voter rolls and got rid of thousands and thousands of bad votes, and the Justice Department sued them that they should be allowed to put those bad votes and illegal votes back in and let the people vote. So I haven't gotten over that. A lot of people have seen that. They can't even believe it.
The question is about Google, President Trump.
Yeah.
And here's the moment that Trump really loses it. By now, the discussion is a full-blown confrontation, and the host is a little bit condescending towards Trump, but he does it with that British charm, which is hilarious when contrasted with Trump's unique brand of charm. It is a petulance that a 6-year-old boy who has just been denied a third slice of chocolate cake would appreciate.
She just named all these things.
But President Trump, the issue the markets are looking at the fact you are making all these promises. Latest one was car loans. You're flooding the thing with giving giveaways.
But we're going to grow.
I was actually quite kind to you. I used 7 trillion. The upper estimate is 15 trillion. People like the Wall Street Journal, who's hardly a communist organization,
yeah, but you don't know.
They have criticized you on this as well. You are running up enormous debts.
What does the Wall Street Journal know? I'm meeting with them tomorrow. What does the Wall Street Journal know? They've been wrong about everything. So have you, by the way. You've been wrong about
You're trying to turn this. You're trying to turn this.
You've been wrong about it.
No, you're trying to turn this into debate. There are business people.
But you're wrong. You've been wrong. You've been wrong all your life on this stuff.
As I mentioned at the top, this interview may be historic because we might not see a campaigning Trump in this situation again. He may do more interviews, but not with someone with that level of expertise and hold his feet to the fireness. I'm sure glad he did, and I hope these clips go viral for days. But there was something else I noticed in the videos that I curated. I heard a Trump-friendly crowd cheering him on whenever he looked to them for support during the battle, and they ignored his oddness. We have to assume that something called the Economic Club would result in a room full of educated suits, and that defies the MAGA red baseball cap stereotype. Logically, it is impossible to reconcile that Trump's ideology has somehow infused itself in half the nation and has influence in every corner, but we have to accept it, at least from a voting perspective. And with just 3 weeks to go, the madman will either be silenced or amplified, so there's only one thing left to do.
So whether this election is making you feel excited or scared or hopeful or frustrated or anything in between, do not just sit back and hope for the best. Get off your couch and vote.